real deal.
That's a hot take, though. Damn.
It's a hot take, but I'm telling you, man, there's a reason why that kid is pro debuting on tonight's Catterall versus Eubank card.
Hey, Rob, how you doing? What's up, brother? Hey, so I was sitting there just waiting. I was sitting there waiting on that short uppercut because she's got this little, like, it's almost like a mix between a jab and an uppercut with that right hand. And it's so hard to see coming. She'll go right to the bottom of the ribs with it, and then straight, almost like Tyson did. You remember he left hook into the
Right.
ribs? They've used the same hand straight up the shoot.
Yep.
And that's what set up that stoppage. That ref saw how hard she got hit with that short uppercut, and then she just started freaking nailing her freaking right up the freaking tunnel with the freaking straight rights, man.
Right.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I seen, and Billy did that shit to somebody. I knocked ball out.
Mm-hmm.
That was on last week Friday, bro.
Then straight uppercut, pow, and his whole body and chin, everything just lifted up like.
And that's the thing. The really good fighters that utilize the uppercut very well are the ones that don't like throw them like haymakers. They throw them more like jabs from underneath. You know what I mean? They because there's no strength at the end of a uppercut. The strength's all in the middle of contact. You know. So,
yeah, that's a really good analysis right there, now, man. What I was gonna say was, you know, who used to do that really well? You'll remember Zab Judah.
Yeah,
Zab Judah used to throw it exactly, bang, and he picked it up from Tyson, just like you said. You know, Tyson was his guy. So
you know who I was trying to say, and you probably gonna rag on me for this one, but Tank has a really good uppercut also.
No, Tank has a great uppercut. Yeah.
You see what he did to Mario Barrios uppercutting his ass.
Well, Lennox
uppercut. He folded the other dude. What's his name? What's his name? Fucking Pedraza. He folded Pedraza with the uppercut, and he kept hitting him with it. Bing, bing, bing. His face was like, shit. Just stop hitting him, Tank. You gonna kill him. Go sub my man up. Go look it up right now. Right now.
What were you gonna say, Nav Man? Go ahead, Nav Man. What were you gonna say?
I said Lennox Lewis had a hell of an uppercut that's not talked about much because he didn't use it a lot. He picked his spots with it, and man, he knocked the shit out of somebody with it.
The best one you remember for Lennox Lewis when he did use you're right, he definitely used the uppercut when it was time. But when he knocked out Michael Grant in New York, you remember that, Nav Man?
Yeah,
and Michael Grant was being built up as the next great American heavyweight.
I thought he broke his neck. When you look at the contact on it, he caught it right at the midpoint of coming up.
Right over here.
Dead on the chin with it. And his head went back so damn far. I was like, damn. I don't know how somebody's head could stretch that much without breaking or hurting something.
Well, I was going to say too, Nav Man, and I'm really glad you're pointing out like the historical references of Lennox Lewis, who was the most dominant heavyweight champion during his era.
I think in that era,
right?
Yeah.
But hold on. Let me make this point, then I'm going to let you cook. Yeah. The thing that people always forget, and I'm glad you bring that up, Nav Man, about his uppercut is when he was fighting Klitschko, which was his last fight right before he retired, everybody was like, oh, Lennox Lewis would have lost that fight. Oh, Lennox Lewis was hitting him with the uppercuts so bad, bro, that Vitaly Klitschko was about to get stopped in another 3 rounds because those uppercuts were killing him. And if you guys want to go back and watch that fight on HBO, that was Lennox Lewis's last fight. Lennox Lewis versus Vitaly Klitschko. To the naked eye, it looks like Lennox Lewis is losing in the beginning. But if you watch that from round 3, moving forward before they stop the fight, there's a reason why that fight got stopped. and them uppercuts were definitely a big reason for that. But go ahead, Yurp. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Accumulation of uppercut.
I'll come back to that.
You lost your train of thought. No, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, so Navman, I've been trying to get Yurp caught up with the super middleweight division, the 168, because I was explaining. Yeah, I was explaining to him that a lot of people, obviously in the United States, casual fans, they know about Canelo, but they don't actually realize that the reason why in our world, in the boxing world, it's not that we're not happy with Canelo, it's that we believe that there's so many killers that are contenders underneath him,
right?
That he's choosing to kind of navigate to not fight.
That's my only issue with him.
It's a little upsetting because I was showing them all of them. There's Christian Mabili, Diego Pacheco, Osleys Iglesias. Like, these are all killers, man. All of these guys down the line are all killers. And when Canelo's finally, whenever he finally, probably 2026 might be his last year, or he'll figure out a way to get out of the way out of these killers. But I'm sure you've seen some of these guys, right, Nav, man?
Yeah, I have. And it's like you said, though, that super middleweight area is getting a lot less eyes, and I think it's going to start getting more because there's so much competition there.
Yeah, facts. Definitely a lot of competition there. And that's a really good ass weight. I think that's a real good weight division right there. That 168 division.
Yeah, 168. Really, everybody's a contender, it seems like. I don't bet on sports anyway, except maybe a friendly bet, just between friends or whatever. But damn, that super middleweight class, I wouldn't waste $1 on betting on anybody in there.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, it's 50-50. It's 50-50 in the super middleweight.
That's a good question while we're in between fights, right? Raider Paul brought up Mike Tyson, my favorite boxer of all time. How about this, Yurp? It's your show and all, but what if we go around, who's your top 3 all time? Who's your GOATs, your 3?
All time.
That's tough because I always like to go weight classes, but if I'm going to go top 3 all time, you want to go first, Yurp? He's going to say Tank because he loves Tank.
No, I mean, Tank's still fighting. I mean, are we going like people that still fighting and non-fighters?
I don't know, just I guess of all time, like who?
Up to you, bro. Up to you.
Yeah, I love that pick, by the way, Chewy. Like that's a fair pick. That's awesome, dude. In your generation, because you're so young, Manny Pacquiao, who again, for you guys who want to Google search Angelo Reyes, boxing coach, you'll know that I was a part of that whole group during 07 to 012. But yeah, Manny's great.
Was you around? My bad, but I gotta ask because I watched this earlier, yo. Was you around when he fought Margarito and Rios?
Brandon Rios, yes. No, Margarito was near the tail end because it's like 2012. I started going to Mayweather's gym to learn from Roger.
Okay.
But from 07 to 011 going into 012, I was one of Freddie Roach's assistants.
Because that I see that earlier when he beat both of their ass. They was picking off Freddie Roach. He beat the shit out of both of them.
Yeah. Hey, so who's your top 3? Who's your top 3? Come on, man, stop stalling.
All time.
So I'm gonna go Tank last, but
okay.
All time probably Tyson. And I'm gonna go
one.
Tyson, Cotto, and Tank.
Okay, that's fair, man. Because again, it's always going to be generational. You know that, Nav, man. It's always going to be unless you're a historian like me and the others. You're going to go with the generation. Chewy loves Pacquiao. Cotto's a good name, man. I mean, it's arguable that Cotto is right up there in the Mount Rushmore of Puerto Rican boxing. Although I'd have to say that oftentimes forgotten, and you'll know who this is, Nav, man. But Wilfredo Benitez, in my opinion, is the guy that you should be putting as the greatest Puerto Rican boxer of all time.
I would say, yeah. No doubt.
Trinidad would probably be like in
Trinidad.
that Cotto range, right? But Wilfredo Benitez was the real deal. Yeah. But how about you now, man? Who's your top three?
Well, I'm going to mix it up because you know how I'm big about heavyweights, right?
Right.
But and Muhammad Ali, I would say that, but I wasn't old enough to watch all that stuff in person. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, my dad was an Ali freaking oh my god guy. Ali everything, right? Emmett Foreman. He was all about Emmett Foreman and Frazier. So I would say my number one all time, those that I was able to watch, is Mike Tyson. No question about it.
Okay.
Let's see. It's between Chavez and freaking De La Hoya.
That's a good one.
Chavez was what, 81-0
before he got beat. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he retired shortly after that, I do believe. I don't think he ever lost another fight. I think it's 81-1 or something like that. You can't deny that. 81-1, you can't deny that. So I'm going to lump those two together. So one more.
De La Hoya and Chavez together. All right.
Just because they were so dominant, bro. Let's see. Then I'll have to say Ray Leonard, probably.
Oh, Ray Leonard, of course. That's your generation right there now, man.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sure you watch a lot of Ray Leonard fights.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he was kind of, before Tyson was a thing, he was kind of the guy I was following. Yeah, so.
Okay. Yeah, no. No crime picking that. My goodness.
I ain't gonna lie. I think we should have did 5 because I at least got like 2 more.
No, I know. Well, this is why I always say that for me, and again, when I tell you guys who it is, for if it's a top 3, it's more about the historical facts. Because for me to go into the industry, one of the things that always impresses everyone is how much you know of the history of boxing. And if you're having a conversation with someone like a Freddie Roach, or even back in the day, an Eddie Futch, or any of these guys, you have to know your boxing. You know, yeah, you have to really know it. So, but yeah, no, definitely, no, that's good. That was good.
Angelo, I do want to bring focus to G-Fam, what G-Fam said. He said Lennox Lewis wasn't throwing uppercuts that fight. He was throwing shurikens from Street Fighter.
Hell yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. So
that's true.
Hey, Yurp, who came in? Who came in?
Paul. Hey. All right. What's up, Raider Paul? How you doing, man? Having problems over there. Hey, mute Paul for a second. See if that's on him or somewhere else. A lot of background noise. Yeah, it's definitely him. He's gonna have to unfuck. He's gonna have to unfuck that because that right there is freaking crazy. Let's see. Frank Weber said all time. Yeah, all time, Frank. Mike Tyson. Oh, Raider Paul says Mike Tyson, Ali, and Chavez. Okay. I like it. I can tell Paul's right around my age group just by what he picked there. Yeah, he should have beat Mayweather. Yeah, he should have. Roy Jones Jr. Oh, yeah, Roy Jones Jr.'s got to be in there. And it's 4th and 5th. It's his 4th and Roy Jones Jr. is 4th and 5th. Oscar De La Hoya and Roy Jones Jr. Frank, wow. Frank Weber, Jack Johnson, Danny Dolan, and Cassius Marcellus Clay. Oh, fight's on. Well, neither one of these dudes I haven't watched either one of these dudes.
Nah, me either. But they bumping though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. No. And this is one of the great things about Eddie Hearn is when he puts on a preliminary card, he's making sure that all of the fighters are in tough, because you're not going to find out how good the fighter is as you're progressing, growing, if you're not putting him in tough, which is one of the reasons why PBC, which had such a foothold on boxing in America for a few years, they were not doing that. They were putting someone who couldn't handle a prospect in with a prospect. And in the UK, the reason why the boxing is so much more competitive is because they don't do that to their prospects. If their prospects lose, they go, well, that was a learning lesson. You know, like they don't they don't look at losses as a bad thing. They look at it as, if you learn, then you'll grow from it. You know, and pretty much that's how it should be.
Yep. Raider Paul said it's too windy. It's too windy for him to get on while he's outside. It's just too damn windy.
No, for sure, man. We're trying to keep the integrity of the sound. So, a lot of good notes from everybody on the chat on who they believe or who their top 3 is, right? And you can never really deny anyone of their own, you know, what they saw with their own eyes. On a historical sense, I am very surprised at the chat, unless I missed it, Nabman, in Yurp. So if we're gonna go top 3, you gotta put Sugar Ray Robinson in there in top 3, because Sugar Ray Robinson is just he fought on all the different weight classes when you didn't really even know moving around was a thing. He did that. He would go from as low in the 140s to as high as in the 160s. So Sugar Ray Robinson is definitely like he's always up there. He's always up there. He's really the first one of them, right?
And I think you could put Roy Jones Jr. in that category, but from a little heavier up.
Yeah, it's you know what? One of these times now, man, you and I are gonna have a conversation on the. And I love Roy, and I know Roy. I've spoken to Roy. I've interviewed Roy. Roy's great, but when we talk historical sense, there's a couple of chinks in the armor of Roy Jones Jr. when it comes to the historical part of things. One of it is that he never went to the UK to fight Nigel Benn. He never went to the UK to fight Chris Eubanks. He never fought Daniel Milchevsky when Milchevsky had all the belts. Like, there's certain things but Roy is amazing, and Roy was basically the Superman Michael Jordan of boxing for the U.S. fan base and for the global fan base, which is why he's so loved by everyone. You know, like, everybody loves Roy. But historically speaking, you know, Roy's more like in my top 20 than he is in the top, right? Just because there's certain things you have to do. Like, you have to be able to have fought everyone, win or lose, right? Like your Frazier's, your Foremans, like you fight everybody, win or lose. So, but anyway, so one would definitely be Sugar Ray Robinson in that top 3, right? I can never leave out Muhammad Ali. I've watched so many of Muhammad. I watched Muhammad Ali fights that were, like I was telling you the other day, last week. It was the Bugner anniversary, right? And most people don't even know that fight. And it's like, that fight was extremely significant because it's the fight he fought right before Thrilla in Manila when he fought Frazier, you know? So, but Ali was different. And honestly, Muhammad Ali, if those 3.5 years wasn't stolen from him at his peak, we don't actually know how many more knockouts he would have gotten. We don't actually know how many more dominating wins he would have gotten. So I gotta always put Muhammad Ali up there. And then that third one is tough because there's so many great fighters, man. Like you mentioned that now, man, Sugar Ray Leonard, right? How do you not talk about how awesome he was? But then you got to ball in Tommy Hearns in there. Then you got to ball in Hagler.
Yeah.
Then you got to ball in Roberto Duran in there. Like, it's so hard. It's so hard when you start going around.
It's a tough question. It's a tough
question. Yeah. That's why, for me, I always like the question to be, well, let's go by weight class. Let's go by weight class across the board. Because then at least at weight class, you could really bring it down more.
But that's what I've learned in hosting a channel. I want to make it obligatory, right? I want to make it so freaking broad that Everybody's really got to freaking drill down to that thought.
Right.
And that makes it makes for a lot of different answers in the chat that you didn't think of. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and like G-Fam saying, like I always have Joe Louis up there also, just because Joe Louis did defend the belt so many times, and during his time, that was the undisputed championship. You know, not knocking out just about everybody really, the way Joe Louis was. So yeah, I mean, Bronze Bomber is definitely up there. Joe Louis, you know, and then you can't take away like Marciano was up there. But I'm gonna throw one at you that I don't think gets a lot of credit. But I mean, I don't want to say he's in my top 3, but I want to give him a lot of credit because a lot of people don't talk about how amazing this guy was. In my opinion, probably my top 1 or 2 at light heavyweight is Ezzard Charles. So if you guys ever look back and go watch Ezzard Charles fought everyone. And because of the way kind of sanctioning worked, he never got to fight the champions during their champ times, but he beat a lot of them in those 10 rounders. So Ezzard Charles kind of gets a notable.
Hey, can I address Hawaiian Candy?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean it in the perspective that your channel is slutty. I meant your chat thinks it's slutty. Like they and that you freaking just lambaste their ass every time they get that way. And I think it's freaking hilarious and I love it. No, I didn't mean any disrespect to you at all. I may not have said it correctly, but I meant the chat comes back at you with the slutty attitude, and you just wipe their ass. You wipe their ass. You wipe your ass with them every time, and I think it's hilarious. So that's what I meant. Sorry you took it the wrong way. I really didn't. I was promoting your channel, actually. So
getting that first notch on his record.
That is not what I meant. No. I wasn't talking shit. I was promoting you. And there were a lot of people that subscribe to you. Sorry if you misunderstood my message there. It was the chat coming back at you in a slutty way is what I meant.
Everybody go follow Hawaiian Candy.
Absolutely. It's a great show to watch. I mean, chat comes at her about, you know, anything outside what she's talking about, and she just wipes them out. It's freaking hilarious. It's fun to watch. It is fun to watch.
I always stop by and show love.
Now, she has some there that are very loyal to her, and that's what I love. You know what I mean?
What do you guys think of this fight that's going on so far?
This is very competitive. Nobody's really taking the upper hand. There's moments for both of them, and this is tight scoring so far.
It's easier for me to watch it on my phone because I'm on the screen with you guys. Oh, and then so for a 3, I was saying there's Joe Louis, obviously, Ezzard Charles, you got to throw out there. You know, Roberto Duran. It's hard to not say he's in the top 3 just because Roberto Duran won titles from 135 all the way to 160. Wow. Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali for sure. I mean, God, guys, Salvador Sanchez was amazing. Unfortunately, he passed away because of that car accident. Alexis Arguello was honestly probably the best 126-pounder ever, if you really look at the historical sense of things. Yeah, Arguello. That's a tough one now, man. That's a tough one. Because you can go Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and you can debate here and there, but you can't really debate that they shouldn't be in the top two, right? You know,
it's hard
but
to
that
debate.
third one, yeah, that third one, like you even mentioned, like Oscar De La Hoya during his period, he fought everyone. Oscar De La Hoya was not afraid to get the big fights.
Yeah,
so,
he put it up there every time for whoever.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh.
That card's not too bad. So, yeah, against
Lewis.
Stayed Diamante.
Joe Lewis would be pretty good to put up in that top three. Nah, I got to give a shout out to Roberto Duran, man. I'd put him into third. I'd say Roberto Duran mainly because he's the first guy to beat Sugar Ray Leonard. Moving up from 35 to 47, he beats up Sugar Ray Leonard. Then he wins the world title at 54, beating Davey Moore. And then he goes to 160 and he beats Iran Barkley right after Iran Barkley beat Tommy Hearns for the belt, and he knocked Tommy Hearns out. So that's my three, man. Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and then you got to put Roberto Duran in there just for that.
Yeah, real quick, Candy, I know you're the one that told me that you leave the trolls in there. They're good for your algorithm. You gave me that advice, and that's what I'm doing. I leave them in there. I just don't like to see them, so I just block them in the chat, and I let the chat handle it. You know what I mean? Because I try to have a little bit of content on the show, and then it turns into a comedy club. So, which I'm okay with. Whatever the chat wants, I'm good. You know what I mean? That's the way my show goes. I didn't intend to lay any shade on you at all. I love your show. It's hilarious. Yeah. Right? Exactly. Not really shit to talk off about in off season at the moment, so got to crash out on the trolls. Sure, absolutely. You're right.
Shout out Candy.
Yeah, shout out to Candy. Hey, Chewy. If it's okay, can one of the mods put Candy's show in the chat there so people can go see her?
So for you guys who are watching alongside with us, again, if you want to watch the live boxing, there's one fight left. It's on the description page of the Yurp Jurors.
Yeah, you can do that for me, bro.
Yeah, middle miss one, that one. So he's a up and coming prospect. That was fight number 3, and we're going into fight number 4. And then Nabman, do you have the zone subscription, or are you able to get it in the box? Because it switches over to the zone.
I could probably pick it up on Reddit somewhere.
Okay. All right. And then same with you, Yurp, because after this last fight, this next one coming up, it's gonna switch over to the zone subscription page.
I'll try to find it. I mean, if not, I just get the zone thing.
Hey, I'll see if I find the link. I'm looking through Reddit right now.
And Navman's pretty good at this. You might be able to find it over there.
Well, and I'll send a link to you. Yurp. I'll send a link if I find it to you in Instagram.
All right.
Because I don't want to put it in. I don't want to put anything Reddit anything in the chat.
Yeah, I know.
Sam, I'll bring you in very quickly. He's always got a smile on his face, like we were saying, but he's a really, really good boxer as well. Acting.
Yo, ball middle miss is nice.
I don't know what one I prefer, but he's brilliant, right? And that's the sort of fighter that you sell. He's a fantastic actor, but he's an even better fighter. And it's time Eddie put a bit of pen to paper for him and got him a contract. Brilliant crowd. Thank you very much for coming, guys. Brilliant. Let's get him our contract indeed. Alfie, congratulations on a great performance.
DFMC show is.
Sam Jones, Jamie Moore, and the victor himself, Alfie Middlemis. This is what we've seen already on before.
Shout out Candy. Shout out Candy.
That's who starting to get the job done versus Carlo Gonzalez. Alfie Middlemis, as we've just seen, beating Mohamed Wacko. And up next, William Collar versus Fraser Wilkinson. We are ready for our final contest on Before the Bell. So let's hand back over to David.
So the final fight is with William Crawler at 154 pounds. He's actually fighting a pretty tough guy. But if you guys remember, William Crawla is the brother of Anthony Crawla. And Anthony Crawla at one point was the best fighter coming out of the UK until Jorge Linares knocked him out.
Here is Aberdeen's very own Fraser Wilkinson.
Yeah, William Crawla. He's really good. If you guys want to watch a really good prospect coming up, that's like a fringe. It's like fringe contender status right now. Is this kid William Crawla?
Yo, dude, Wilkinson.
Hey, Marcus Banks. If you want to watch the fights with us, the link to the live boxing that me, Nabman, and Yurp are watching right now are on the description page.
Which makes him very excited.
Now entering the arena, the undefeated hard-hitting Mancunian, William Crawla.
Oh shit. That guy.
And here's the other thing. I was saying this earlier now, man, and for you guys who are listening to us, thank you for joining us on the Boxing Watch Party. You notice that outside the U.S., boxing is like the NFL. It's just regular news. People talk about it. It's a regular thing. So when they put up events, it always looks very professional, right? And that's where the U.S. really needs to get back on the band. Because it used to be that way in the U.S. back in the 70s to 80s, 80s to 90s, and then during that PBC era, they just got cheap.
A freaky contest last time out against Emmanuel Dion. Got the nod over 6 rounds, and a fight in which he says he learned bundles from. Before that, it was 6 straight stoppages. Learning an awful lot, but one thing's for sure, he's very impressive.
Hey, you're pay attention to this guy, William Crawla. He might be one of them ones.
I've seen that dude. This could be a knockout, no question.
Yo, with the other dude, Middleman. Oh, he nice.
Yeah, he's nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's a growing prospect. And this is where as you build your channel's boxing fan base, you want to pay attention to these up and comers, these 3-0, 7-0, 10-0s, because those are the ones to watch for. It takes only 2 years for them to all of a sudden become a contender when they're being pushed correctly.
Wow.
Get in and out quickly by transferring your prescriptions to Publix Pharmacy.
I don't know. Don't do that.
The red corner, he wears red trunks with white trim. He scaled 11 stones, 6 pounds, bang on. Professional record, 11 victories, 2 defeats with 2 wins.
Yeah, Fraser Wilkinson's going to give him a tough fight now, man. Or should give him a tough fight.
Ladies and
Right.
gentlemen, Fraser Wilkinson.
He ain't getting no love, though.
I'll tell you what, I got Crawla for sure.
Oh, of course. I think everybody's got Crawla.
Right.
This dude's a freaking absolute freaking Tasmanian devil, bro.
I mean, if you just look at his body at 154, this is the 154-pound class, but, looks pretty solid. Pause, everyone. Pause. Everybody in the chat's got to chill, man.
Well, what happened?
Shout out, Rebel.
No. I'm just saying, because I was saying if you look at his body, it's pretty solid, but I have to put a pause in there.
I see. Oh, a giggity? Giggity.
A giggity.
As Blue would say. Giggity.
On the prelims, round up for local super welterweight.
I did that. Candy helped me out with a lot of subs, for real.
Yeah.
I did exactly what she's saying. She told Rebel.
Well, she helped Little Raider on her channel. There were a couple of donations that came out of when I got on there prior to the show for Little Raider that I didn't know where they came from. Neither did Devin. So obviously it came from there.
Right.
That's freaking amazing.
Right.
Hey, just so y'all know, the family, they got everything they need for a good month now.
Wow.
That's good.
Wow.
So they're good.
Great job, everyone. Great job.
About $680 in an hour and a half, man.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. So Chewy's using his Kindle, I guess. That's cool.
As I say, boxing, keep it long, but he's not afraid to get stuck in and let his hands go.
So I went to Reddit. All of the Reddit boxing stuff has been freaking suspended. Every bit of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's surprised.
Yeah. Well, you know, Nab, man, you're such a big boxing fan. Honestly, you should. I'm surprised you're not subscribed to DAZN already. DAZN's only $13.99 a month, and in a couple of months, it's going to become $9.99 anyways. But right now, you could probably get a deal where if you buy the pay-per-view bundle for the Usyk Dubois and Shakur Stevenson fight that's happening next week, what they're doing is instead of you having to pay $65 for one and $65 for another, you just bundle it together for like $90. And then if you do that, now you're going to get both of those pay-per-views. And I think you get the zone free for a month. And then after that, it's like $13.99 a month or something like that. So, but if you're a boxing guy, it's worth having the zone because they show so many free fights every week. It's insane.
Yeah, Candy, that's also something you taught me as well. I mean, I have business cards made with a QR code to my YouTube channel that I give away at work. It has my Cash App, my Venmo, and my Google reviews for work on one side, and it has my YouTube channel on the back.
Hey, Dixon Sider says he gets all of this for free. So maybe, hey, Dixon Sider, maybe you can hook up Yurp and Nabman and go tell them how you do it.
Yeah, send me the link on that you're using on IG. And if it's I can check the legitimacy of the link, and if it's legit, I can give it to Yurp, and Yurp can put it in a chat for everybody. I can check it. I have a 15.
I told you guys Wilkinson was going to give him a good fight. If you're watching this, I told you it wasn't going to be easy.
Yeah. So I have some fishing software I had to use for work some time ago that I got a lifetime software.
Hey, Hawaiian Candy, thank you for coming in. We appreciate you.
Hey,
everyone, follow Hawaiian Candy.
Absolutely, Andy. I'm sorry if you misunderstood my message. My message was to promote you, not to do the opposite. I'm sorry for that if it seemed weird. Stream East. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go on Stream East. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't got no $90 for no bundle. I ain't gonna do all that right now. So.
That's the thing you need to develop. Into the second round we go, and just looking at Wilkinson in his corner, responding well to the instructions, big smile on his face, eager to get out for this second round, and he worked nicely again behind the jab. Were you born between 1980 and 1989? If so, you can get $250 to spend at McDonald's completely free. And I can tell you right now, this
I don't know what the sushi is.
I see now, man. I told you. I'm not saying Crawl is not going to win this fight. I think he'll break this guy down. But in this 8-rounder, I told you Wilkinson was going to give him a hard time, at least in the first 3. And he's giving him a fight. But Crawl is breaking him down, like hitting him in the body, giving him them little short shots.
Yep, sure is.
They ain't bleeding already. What the fuck?
He always bleeds. From what I've seen, he always
That's true, though. That is true.
Who, Wilkins?
yeah.
No, yeah. See, Crawler just caught him with that, right? And and you have to remember, these guys are fighting at 154. Those punches don't tickle, man. This is 154 pounds.
Right.
Oh,
They don't tickle. It's funnier now.
trust me, I know.
The way this fight is going now, man, and the way Wilkins is kind of moving right now, I think it's going to be a stoppage, probably round 5. That's my guess. Stoppage round 5.
I call it earlier than that, I think, because
okay.
Oh, well, there's a good comeback right there. That's pretty good. I mean, the thing about it I always remembered was when someone starts bleeding, it just creates a big, huge freaking target on their face. You know, I've never been a fan of boxers that start bleeding early because it kind of creates a target. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I like how Wilkinson uses his jab.
Yeah, he uses his jab very well.
He ain't got no head movement.
There we go.
So William Crawler, Marcus, is the guy with the shorter hair is Wilkinson, and William Crawler is the guy. I'll tell you the trunks. William Crawler is wearing blue.
Dude is Wilkinson.
Yeah, and Wilkinson is the red trunks guy. So Crawler's in the blue trunks, Wilkinson's in the red trunks.
I think Wilkinson needs to break his nose a few more times so the fucker will stop bleeding.
We're in round 3 right now, everyone. We're in round 3. Favorite boxer of all time, Robert Pena? See, that one's hard because I do love Manny and I do love Floyd, but it's different when you get a chance to be around them. So, but as a fan growing up as a kid to watch, favorite boxer of all time. Wow.
Mike Tyson for me.
Okay, that's fair for that, man, because yeah, that's the generation right there. Mike Tyson. He definitely captured everyone. He captured the fans. Yurp's probably gonna say favorite boxer of all time. For you that you watched.
Tyson. I watched Tyson.
Yeah. So Yurp's younger, and he's still in that Tyson era.
Yep.
I've seen the latest fight, like literally. I've seen it.
I was gonna say, Yurp was a baby when Tyson was doing his thing before prison. You were a baby, weren't you?
Marcus Banks, you had to have been alive though to watch him fight, right? I mean, I don't think you're that old, are you, Marcus? But yeah, we talked about who the best are, and I had Sugar Ray Robinson as number 1. But we're talking about like the favorite one that you watched as a kid growing up.
Just when
Marcus Banks, yeah, you like I went back and watched all the tapes of Sugar Ray Robinson for sure, just being the historian of it all. But we were talking about like as you're growing up as a kid. So if you're from 1975 growing to now, you had to watch, somebody like Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Maybe Carlos Monzon, maybe um, Alexis Arguello, like Salvador Sanchez. Thank you, Dixon Sider. Yeah, Salvador Sanchez when they
Yeah, I
were
heard
free.
about Salvador Sanchez, yo. That motherfucker, he cold.
I mean, if you go down into the, I mean, if you dig down into the freaking ones I watched and the records they had and the knockouts they had and shit like that, Chavez is hard to freaking argue, man.
Yeah, Chavez was very fun. That
was a
to watch.
fun fight every time, every single time.
Yeah. Pernell Whitaker was kind of one of a kind when he was coming out. Like during that time, like nobody really understood. Like, wow, this is crazy what this guy's doing.
We call him Sweet Pea, right?
Yep. And then, like, when you think about again fighters that were like, as a kid, you're growing up. At least in my generation, as a kid growing up, you're watching it. But like Prince Nassim Hamed kind of made everybody go, whoa, I didn't know you could do all these things at 118 pounds. Nas was awesome. Robert Pena. I don't know. That one's a tough one for me, but I guess as a kid kind of growing up to watch like the come up, I would probably say I definitely enjoyed watching De La Hoya's rise. Oscar De La Hoya was very fun to watch. Just because he was willing to fight everyone, and when he fought, he always engaged in fighting. The other one, though, if I'm gonna put him on like a favorite, is it's hard to not say Roy Jones Jr. just because he was so damn exciting, man. Roy Jones Jr. would do things like put his hands behind his back or get those knockouts or in and outs. So, man, favorite fighter of all time. That's a tough question, Pena.
That's a tough one.
For me, it is. That's a tough question.
Mike Tyson was by far the most fun to watch. He's the most fun to watch in my lifetime.
He was definitely fun to watch. So remember, I said 5th round knockout. Remember that now, man.
Yeah, you did. I said before that, so here we go.
Yeah, here you go. Here's your chance now, man.
Yeah, I know. But it looks like Wilkinson's freaking up for the fight, man. He's taking some heavy shots, man, and just walked right through it. Oh, damn.
That's what I said in the beginning, Yurp. I said Wilkinson's gonna give Crawler a challenge.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Eddie Hearn. He didn't put Crawler in easy. This guy isn't like a loser. He's in it tough.
Oh shit. Wilkinson's game, no doubt about it. He'll take one and give one. There's no question.
I'm talking about Paez, baby.
I think
talking about Paez was fun to watch also.
I think Crawler's setting him up.
Come on, Robert Pena. You can't throw off someone like me with Romero. He's talking about Paez, y'all. Jorge Paez.
Oh yeah, Paez.
The clown. He actually was from a circus family. That's why he was such a showman.
I think Crawler's setting him up for something, man. He's been staying head.
Well, you got 30 seconds to be right here now, man.
Right. I think Crawler's slowing down a little bit.
Nah. He's taking his time, baby.
But the thing is, I haven't seen a body shot from him in 3
minutes. He did
minutes.
get just flipped right there with that straight right from Wilkinson, though.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he got one up the tunnel, too.
There's a nice left hand. That was better. Sharp. It was quick.
Yeah, but he's losing up though. I worry about the fitness. When you lose it, you try it out quicker.
Yeah, you're a little ahead of me.
Oh, am I? Okay.
So I'm
Right
on
now,
stream.
they're sitting in the stools for me right now.
Right. I'm on stream east. I'm probably about 30 seconds behind you.
Okay. Okay.
Damn.
This
This is a great fight, though, right? Yurp.
It is.
Yurp.
Awesome.
Great fight.
Yeah, I ain't said shit. Like 3 rounds.
I think Wilkinson won that round.
Yeah.
His first round. I think he won that round.
Crawler's bleeding now in the nose.
Yep. Those right there. It's those Crawler's pawing at him, hits him with 1, and then Wilkinson freaking hits him with 3. Right after it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? And it's
So this is the round I predicted Crawler would stop him.
yep.
Hey, Angelo, Rob said, do you know Stevie Johnston?
Yeah, of course.
He said he knows him.
Well, I mean, I don't know him personally, but I know who Stevie Johnston is, obviously, as a boxer.
Yeah.
Hey, so Angelo, I wanted to get your opinion on something. On maybe we can get like a up and coming fighter, I guess. Like do an interview with an up and coming fighter if you can make something like that happen.
Not right now, man.
Yeah,
Not yet.
Bring your boy Paulie on. Bring your boy Paulie on, man.
Yeah, no, not yet. Not yet. Because even me and Turf with our channel, we just started it. We're not bringing any of the people that we know quite yet. But
okay.
in due time, though, bro. When it's time, when we get him on our show first, the Knockout Canvas, then I'll get him on your show.
All right, that's good.
All right, so GFAM threw out there your top 3 MMA fighters. I have mine. You ready?
Go ahead now, man.
I'm not going to put them in any order. GSP is 1. Probably John Jones, and then it'd be Chuck Liddell.
That's good. That's a good list. John Jones, Chuck Liddell, man, the king of Kempo karate. Hell yeah, Chuck Liddell. John Jones is a tough one.
Your boy.
Oh,
Your boy Crawler.
I was wrong there, man.
He
I was
put
wrong.
your boy Crawler.
Stop. I'm behind.
Oh, my bad.
You gotta watch the YouTube part. It's on the
No.
YouTube.
I just have it ready for later. That's all. I just want to make sure I'm watching what I'm going to be watching. Oh, my God, dude. Holy shit. See, I would have lost money on this fight. That's why I don't
At the beginning, Wilkinson was going to give him a hard time. So,
You see, I ain't say nothing. I want to see.
Oh, shit.
The Wardley fight fucked me up, yo. So now I don't know who's going to win.
Oh, my God. Oh. Oh. That ref's going to take a point. He does that again. Oh, boy. Oh. Ah.
He said in his prime he was a beast, yeah. Gracie. Yeah, I don't watch UFC, so I don't have no figure.
All right. Now, hey, Angelo.
He showed plenty of bravery there, though, William.
hold on for a second, brother. Hold on.
All right.
But that was a really, really good onslaught there from Wilkinson.
He was looking right at his brother, and the brother was saying, stay on your knees.
I don't think that was a knockdown. He pushed him down.
Inexperience.
Nah, he counted him.
He caught him, but he did push him. He pushed him down.
I mean, in the time
he top of him.
I could dig it. I could dig it, but they counted it.
This is where you find out what a fighter's all about when they get freaking dominated in a round. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, this is when you're going to find out how good a prospect really is.
Uh-oh.
Shots after nice right hook from Wilkerson, but a right hand as well from Troller. Good work from the Scot again on the back foot, moving back to center. Oh, it's a lovely left hand. He's hurt William Troller. The legs are unsteady with the left hand again. The referee.
Damn! Stop the fight.
Oh shit! Oh my God!
Oh man, I was right about a 5th round stoppage.
Shit. Yeah, just the wrong bull.
Oh man. Oh man. Wow. And this is why it's fun to watch boxing, Yurp. Especially in the UK, bro. You never know. It's always 50-50.
Damn. Yep, that's it. Damn.
I was right about the stoppage, just wrong about the person.
Right? Again, that's why I save my money on this shit. Because fucking, you just never know.
Fantastic so far this year. He did really good development fight there, and I'm sure he still will be. But
Yeah.
Experience, the composure, and out the boxing ability here of Wilkinson was just fantastic.
Yeah, he hit that motherfucker so hard. He looked at the ring. He said, "Boom!" He said, "Hey, you ain't gonna stop this motherfucker."
Well, so the round prior, Wilkinson caught him with an elbow, and the ref freaking warned it. I think maybe that's what he was looking back for. And a lot of boxers make that mistake. Instead of just freaking fighting on, they go to complain and they get hit 3-4 more times when they ain't fucking expecting it. The other boxer ain't gonna stop.
He hit that motherfucker hard. He thought he got hit with an elbow. He's like, "Hey."
Oh, fuck. He's like, what the fuck? Oh, see? Right there. Boom, 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 boom. And that ended the fight. Oh, he pushed the ref. He's like, motherfucker. You see that? He pushed the ref off of him. It's, man, what the fuck are you doing stopping this shit? He wasn't even hitting me. Right here. Boom.
Fraser Wilkerson, his 12th win of his career. Very, very good performance. Showed us a bit.
So now we got to watch this fucking dude.
As he leaves the ring.
He's one of those Yurp. You know what talked about when you talk about a progressive boxer? He's one of those ones with he makes it past the 3rd round. He's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
One of the dudes that can take everything you got and then saves everything for the next couple rounds, next 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's a dude like Sugar Ray Leonard was. He'd take the barrage right off the freaking get, and then he freaking just come back with freaking when you were a little more tired than him. You know? Muhammad Ali was a lot like that. He'd just sit in the corner and just absorb punches, you know? George was the same way. They would just absorb punches first 3 rounds, and then they would just freaking unleash all hell.
He wasn't physical. He was smart, tactically really good, but he got light with the punches, used more speed, and made Conor tired quicker.
Yeah, brilliant performance. Fraser Wilkinson is ringside with our reporter, Charlie Parsons. Charlie, over to you.
Thank you, Darren. Cheers. Fraser, they say boxing changed lives, and tonight you may well have just done that. Talk me through that performance. Fantastic from minute one. Just treated hard in the gym, played for Stephen. I've got a couple of losses. I fought for basically eliminators. I probably should have, but I took the experience, took chances, and David just walking through it step by step tonight. exactly what you said. And that's what, just early on we saw Will Collar coming out, throwing really thunderous punches, but it seemed like quite early on you kind of sussed it out, the movement was just being in there. Did it kind of line up quite early doors? Yeah, exactly. We've been sparring light heavyweights to walk out because we knew Will would start fast. A lot of amateurs, to be honest with you, all the boys in the gym, we just started to game plan, and you had to be tight, and you had to be sharp with the counters, and that's what produced again. What does this mean to you? I see some of your fans up there in the crowd who were making a real big noise there. You know, it's good that I've been selling tickets for over 4 years now, struggling daily to get a big 100. I mean, like, sometimes I've went and sold 100 tickets for a show, good opponent. The next one, I can't get my best mates aren't coming because they've got events and they've got weddings, etc. So, big credit to David and manager Sam, and big cook over there, but I'm put down at 147. I'm ready for anyone. Taking the opportunities, he was saying that
You say he going up or down to 147?
He said he's ready for anybody. He'll go up or down.
Exactly. In the first couple of rounds, he get caught winning stupid and then pushing pace, and he did everything he was asked to do, and I'm going to be prouder. Fraser, congratulations. Final message to your fans in here and at home. Let's go, Scotland!
Good fight. Great fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that ref should have stopped that where he did, though. Because Barrage at the end, he only caught him once. He was missing a lot. I think maybe he should have let that freaking roll a little bit.
They say when you're not fighting back after being wobbled, the refs automatically stop it.
Yeah, they pretty much stop it. Yep. I'm curious what he was complaining about, you know, when Wilkinson came in there and attacked him. Because the round before, freaking Wilkinson obviously caught him with an elbow. And the ref did see it. And split him up and told Wilkinson that he was going to get a freaking deduction if he did that again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if maybe that was the thing. I'd have to go back and look. I'll have to go back and look at it. But the thing is, as a boxer, I know enough about boxing that coaches will tell you, don't freaking react to that shit. Let the ref do his job. Just freaking fight.
Mm-hmm.
He either saw it or he didn't see it. You know what I mean? You taking a timeout like that, they're just gonna jump on you like a Rottweiler on a fucking steak, bro.
Right.
Hey, G-Fam, in the UFC and MMA, if you say the word Gracie, that's royalty, is what that is. That is UFC MMA royalty. So anytime you say Gracie, that's a Hall of Famer, bro. That's simple. Anybody that comes from Gracie's freaking gems, they're going to wind up being in the conversation of top 5 all time. It's just that simple. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was born with the Gracies.
Mm-hmm.
Sportage offers the perfect blend of performance, capability, technology, and comfort. Whether it's the class-leading cargo and second row
Yurp.
or available 12.3 panoramic displays.
Just so you know, I keep getting a message on StreamYard that says studio instability issues.
What's that mean?
Well, it says the stream, I mean, it's been fine so far. I just keep getting a message on the top. It says instability issues, which means that you leave the studio open very long, the memory gets filled up. So it slows it down a bit. But once you go live, it usually clears that when you go live. That's why a lot of shows you see are kind of like sketchy as shit at first because it's dumping that other shit, right?
Right.
So just so everybody knows, don't update your Chrome Edge, Firefox, any of those browsers you guys use right now, because whatever that update was is a fucking problem. It's causing StreamYard problems. Just so you know, when it says, hey, update now, just don't do it yet until they get it fixed. Then once it's fixed, wait a week or so to update, and then they'll have a patch in there that'll fix it. These dudes, they know what they're doing. So just give it a little time before you update any of your browsers, because it seems like Chrome and Firefox and Edge, as far as browsers, when they did that update, StreamYard didn't like it. Something about it. Just so you guys know. As far as being able to, stream and stuff like that, last thing you want is something like that to fuck up a show you have planned, I usually wait a week or two before I update anything. When they first come out, I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that yet. Let's wait to see how bad it fucks shit up. It's almost guaranteed. It's almost guaranteed that the first update's not going to be right. You guys are busy on your phones. What's going on?
Oh no, well, I told you that. So Turf's setting up our studio for the knockout canvas. So we're going to continue. This was the watch party we're going to do for the main card. Waiting for the studio link, and if he's cool with it, then I'll send it to you, Navman, and I'll send it to you, Yurp. That way you guys could join us in studio, and then you can link your channels to that too. But if you guys want to switch over to the knockout canvas when I leave, for everybody in the chat, that's cool too.
Can you put the link for knockout canvas down there?
Yeah, hold on, give me a sec.
Then once you leave Yurp, are we all gonna just freaking buzz over there? Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, for now we'll stay in here because the main card. So hopefully, whatever stream you guys are using will work. I'm hoping.
Yeah, and I'll keep Stream East up, because if everybody's using a streaming platform, I think, Angelo, you'll probably be the only one real time if everybody's using Stream East, because it's usually on about 30-second delay. It's being used from the United States and it's picking up feeds from overseas. There's always a significant delay.
I got it.
Go. Yep. I'm just going to copy it real quick. Oh, yeah, I can go right to it. So, Angelo, did you hear about what I was talking about? And maybe pass this on to Turf. So I'm seeing studio instability. So it usually means it's an interruption if you have certain browsers that you've updated recently, because Chrome just had an update, and I told them later, because I always wait a little bit just in case there's problems, and obviously StreamYard doesn't like it. But it's something about it. So
the thing about Turf is he uses a different thing. He doesn't use StreamYard. That's why he uses something else. It's a whole production the way he does it. So you'll see like the quality of the camera is stronger. There's
OG8 or something like that, OGB or
something. Turf is a tech guy in terms of what he does as a job now. But obviously, if you guys know, so I've known Turf throughout for a few years now and throughout my liver transplant journey. But Turf was one of the star running backs for Montana State when he was in I want to say it was in '94, because I was still in high school. But Turf was the best JUCO running back coming out of the college nationally. He was one of the best running backs, and that's how he got the Montana State, whatever they were giving him, that full ride, and then
scholarship transfer.
Yeah, and then he knew of me because just like Yurp. But Turf is like huge in boxing, so he knew exactly who I was, and he was like, "Oh my god, man, I can't believe I'm talking to you." Because again, man, if you know, and you've met me long enough now, man, that I never brag about it, because it's not something to brag about. It's just one of those things, right? Like, you were a veteran for all those years. You're not going to sit there. You'll maybe mention it every once in a while, but you're not going to be like, "Hey, I did this, I did that." Like, it's just not the personality, Right. But if you guys ever, the thing about the internet age now is you Google search it, you'll know exactly what I was doing prior to
Right.
my transplant. So
you can just Google search 93 Navman and you can get my YouTube. You can get freaking whatever information about me you want, probably, except for maybe my address and phone number. You know, it's pretty much the only thing you can't dig into. So yeah.
So, but Turf, like what I enjoyed about him outside of football is he actually fought in Muay Thai a little bit, and then but he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he went to the top guys there in Texas. So that's why our show is the Knockout Canvas with Professor T and Coach Angelo. And then we break down kind of like all the different news. As we talked about BJJ on the last episode for about an hour also. So that's something that I'm sure G-Fam and Dixon Side would have appreciated. And then, Dixon. So I think it's, who is it? G-Fam asked the question, top three. So for me, I always got to say Anderson Silva, obviously.
Anderson Silva.
If you kind of just, if you're going to put a top three in there, you can't not put Anderson Silva in. The second one might sound controversial to some of you guys, but I think you got to put Khabib Nurmagomedov in there, because I think if he would have never retired when his dad passed away, I don't think anyone could have beaten him. He was such a beast at grabbing you and then beating the hell out of you that how do you beat a guy like that, right? He's kind of like, to me, I look at Nurmagomedov the same way I kind of looked at Floyd Mayweather, in that when they left, they were undefeated. So how can you really say someone could have beaten them? You know, right? Like if you do a dream match right now, man, and you say GSP at 155 versus Khabib at 155, well, who would have won? Right, because it's tough. It's a hell of a fight, but then so that's why I always say you got to put Khabib in the top three. And then Anderson Silva, man. Anderson Silva is the reason why you see all of these guys now. Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira. It's all Anderson Silva built. You know, all these Sugar Sean O'Malley's and whatnots that you see now, that's all coming from Anderson Silva and what he was able to do and whatnot. And I was there for a lot of those fights with Anderson too. And Anderson actually would train at Wildcard Gym when I was there. So it was always fun to just kind of see him try to learn boxing, because he was coming from a Muay Thai background.
Ben, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you, Red. We're doing a watch party for the boxing. The fourth preliminary fights just finished, Raider Ben. So we're about to watch the main card coming up. But then the third one, see, this is the thing. Is it three? He's asking for three, right? G-Fam, were you asking for three?
Yeah,
see, I always get hung up on the on three because it's like, man, when you're talking about the three, Chuck Liddell obviously is, you know, he brought Kempo karate into the UFC and really popularized it. But you know what I'm gonna do, because I actually, on my last fight on CBS with Frank Mir, we fought him and I studied him a lot. And if you guys ever want to go back and watch the Frank Mir versus Fedor fight, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I was there for that, so I'll have to say Fedor. Fedor to me would be the third. I think that just because Fedor wasn't in the UFC doesn't neglect the fact that he's one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. He might even be the greatest MMA fighter of all time, honestly. But just me having the game plan against Fedor, I remember telling Frank, hey, don't get caught up in this. Don't do this. Make sure you do this. And actually, if you watch that fight, our game plan was working. He knocked Fedor down. Everything was going great. But then, you know, things happen and it's a heavyweight fight and people get caught, man. So that's just how it is.
Exactly what happened. It was a catch. He was winning that fight. There's no question.
So now, man, since you know me now, I'll send you we were doing the HBO 24/7s for that. So I'm obviously on all three episodes of it, but I'll send it to you so you can watch it. That way you can kind of see like all the different little things that I was trying to explain to Frank and some of the things we were working
cool,
on.
man.
Yeah,
I'll put that shit on my show with your permission, if you're okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sure. But yeah, no, that was fun times. I brought Frank to Mayweather Gym so he could kind of, one of the best boxers I ever put Frank in front of. It was two guys. Both of them were world champions at the time. One was Marco Hook, who was a cruiserweight, so that Frank could understand how quick hands can come from certain positions, like the southpaw. And then the other guy is I actually put Frank in the ring boxing with Bermain Stavern, and Stavern was great at the time. He gave Wilder a 12-round tough fight. They hadn't fought the rematch yet, so this is still like very peak Stavern.
Wasn't he that dude that had the weird looks? Like punches come from weird places.
Yeah, well, very compacted, short shots, and the way he threw the body punches were crazy. But again, like during that time, this is what I always say. I always try to explain to people is if you really look back in history, prior to me working with Frank, how many people did you really see professional boxing working with MMA fighters? Because there was kind of this hatred between boxing and MMA. And then when I came in, when I came in, I was kind of like, why are you guys hating each other? It's the same thing. Like, just, you have to understand how to have just like if you're going into a jiu-jitsu room, you have to understand how to be respectful to go in it. You just have to understand how to go in a boxing gym. You can't come into the boxing gym and think like you're the golden god, because if you do, they're going to put you out. A boxing gym is like a dog kennel, man. Like they're going to come after you. So if you just come in there the correct way, they'll actually help you.
And Ardell just said something that is the whole basis of this show. He said, I used to love boxing. What did I say when we were talking about when we first started?
Right. Yeah. When we first met, Nab, man, you were saying that you were saying you used to love it. And then my whole point was I was saying, Nab, man, let me bring you into the actual global scale of it. So you can see it with your own eyes.
And now I'm not getting shit done around my house watching all the videos you're sending me. Thanks for that. My wife's like, "What? Why isn't the fucking trash out? Why isn't you know what I mean? Why isn't I'm like, well, I'm fucking watching boxing." She goes, "You're watching boxing?"
Right.
So the thing about it is, we talk about the MMA. I mean, there's those fighters in the MMA and UFC. Let's say UFC specifically. So, like the guys that grew the sport: Tito, Chuck Liddell, Frank Mir, Gracie's, freaking all that shit that freaking lumped in there all at once, man, grew that brand fast, man.
Right.
John Jones, man, all these dudes, man, they continue to grow, and it went at a fast pace, man. It got popular fast.
Right.
And it was right in that what Ardell was talking about, where there was some corruption in boxing. There was some craziness going on, some really bad decisions and stuff like that kind of turned people off of it. They kind of started thinking of it like the way the NBA kind of seemed to be as well before the last few years, where they just went into a lull, and that's where UFC came in, and that took a lot from boxing. Because they were already in the fucking valley when UFC came out there and became popular fast. And that's taken away from the regrowth of boxing, I think, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, and I think now, man, when you're coming from that sense, and this is, I'll give you guys the inside information on it because I was in there and seeing what was happening. But someone like Yurp, for example, and it's not that Yurp wouldn't appreciate MMA, but it's just not his thing, right? Yeah. And I think that there's a huge parts of America who is just, even someone Yurp's age and Yurp's demographic, they love boxing. They love boxing so much that they're watching the amateurs coming up.
Yeah.
Right, Yurp? Like Yurp knows about Carmel Moten, like when most regular mainstream fans would have no idea who that is. Yurp will know about Zach Queen Moses. Like, he will know the people, right? Because there is a culture for that. So to both of your points, boxing was greater than, I mean, like really 70s, 80s. It's
Right.
top three sports in the United States.
Oh yeah.
You're watching it all the time. And then when the pay-per-view era kind of came, right?
Mhm.
Now you're getting into the 90s. It
Yep.
made it less accessible to the mainstream fans. Fortunately, we still had HBO,
Yep.
right? Boxing, which would be kind of like what our DAZN subscription is now. We had HBO Boxing, and then we had Showtime Sports, which was great. And then where it really kind of took a turn, and this is where I'll explain it to you now, man, so you could kind of understand this.
Yeah.
It isn't that boxing got less popular. It actually was super popular, especially outside of the US, with all of these great fighters like a Lennox Lewis, right?
Right.
Like an Anthony Joshua coming up, like the Klitschko brothers, and everyone was selling out stadiums outside the US. The problem inside the US is that boxing became so like exclusive to the norm people, that all you heard about was main names. You would
Yeah.
hear
It didn't
Mayweather,
grow
you would
internal.
hear Pacquiao, right? But then they weren't giving it for free to the fans. And then when they would give free boxing to the fans, it would be these incredible mismatches that were ridiculous,
Yep.
right? Which you just saw. We literally, guys, just watched the preliminary fights in the UK, the first four, right? The stadium's not even all the way filled yet, but it's the first four, and you just saw an upset. You just watched an upset.
I would not have seen that coming.
Exactly.
At all.
Because again, boxing outside of the US, they don't do it that way. They set it up fair and square. They're like, hey, you're 3-0. We're going to put you in with a guy with 30 fights because we need to make sure you're being tested. And sure, this guy might be on the losing end of 30 fights. He's still got 30 fights and you only have 3. So let's see if you can survive this guy, right? Like that's kind of how it's supposed to be done, instead of, the joke would always be, now, man, oh great, Charlo's fighting another taxi cab driver, or oh great, this guy's coming up from 2 weight divisions down. And that's how America or the United States was showing boxing, which then disinterested people. Now the MMA part of it, and again, what I'll tell you is the UFC was their own little tight-knit group. What really blew them up was the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
having a reality TV show.
I was addicted to that.
Yes, everybody paid attention to it now, right? So like right now, you guys, you'll hear about Love Island and all these other ridiculous reality TV shows, Keeping Up with the Kardashians or whatever.
Naked and Afraid.
Exactly, Naked and Afraid. But people forget, man, the Ultimate Fighter, that was like that was the reality show to be like, oh, I'm hooked into this. Oh my gosh, I want to know about that crazy guy and what's going on. And they're fighting inside the house. And that was like, that really helped grow it to where people could go, oh, there's drama. There's actual drama happening in this crazy cage sport where they're like animals getting in there, right?
Dana White is a freaking genius.
He's a genius. He's a
Absolute
genius. Yeah. So then the next thing I'll add is when ESPN then made when UFC then made the ESPN deal, at the time that they made it, ESPN was the number one sports network to watch. Everybody would have to watch ESPN to get all the information from everyone, right? Every sport across the board in the US, you have to go to ESPN. Well, then ESPN, well, not now. Now I wouldn't say that at all. I think they're actually not the best. But at that time now, man, ESPN would just run all the old fights for free for people. Yep. So now you had a whole bunch of youngsters catching up to it, right? Catching up to Pride fights. You guys remember Pride? Mm-hmm. Pride in Japan, where they were stomping people in the head, and it was in a ring.
Top rank boxing too. Top rank boxing.
Right. Exactly. So now it started to become regular. And then here's the next part. How boxing was in the 80s going into the 90s, where they would show free boxing on ABC Sports, is what the UFC became when they teamed up with ESPN. And there would be fights that they would show on ABC for free. There's literal UFC fights back in them days. And that's what really grew it now, man. And then America just got used to the UFC being the fight sports.
Yeah, because there was a huge pushback on how brutal it was at first.
Right.
That it shouldn't be on TV. You know what I mean? There was a lot of that. And then it just went away. Because it was so much fun to watch.
And part of it too is always education. Like I would always say, mixed martial arts is exactly what it is. It's mixed up, right? You're going to see karate in there. You're going to see Brazilian jiu-jitsu in there. You're going to see judo. You're going to see Greco-Roman wrestling. You're going to see folk style wrestling. You're going to see Muay Thai. You're going to see Taekwondo. So it's just different. It's an art in itself. So so it's very different. And when Yurp's not into it that much, so I'm not going to like try to kill his show talking MMA. But when we do talk about it on the Knockout Canvas, you'll see when we break it down that there's an art form to how to use your striking for it to fit into your grappling, and for your grappling to fit into your striking,
and your and the ground game.
Yes, yeah. So, but at the end of the day, and this is what when I first met Navman, I was trying to explain to him, boxing is still king, man, because boxing is still king. Like the truth of it is, right now, Ilya Tapura, right now, who we just saw last Saturday, knocked out Charles Oliveira, and he's going to start to become an all-time high where people are going to start to know who he really is. Ilya Tapura's biggest payday will be if he could somehow ask Dana White to go fight Canelo. And that's all I have to tell you guys, is that boxing is still king. Conor McGregor's biggest payday was not in the UFC. It was when he fought Floyd Mayweather. Francis Ngannou's biggest payday was not in the UFC. It's when he fought Anthony Joshua. This is just how it works, guys. This is, love it or hate it, boxing's been around since the 1800s. UFC's only been around since the 1990s. So, just the way it is. Just the way it is.
It's just like women's basketball.
It's just like women's basketball.
You know what I'm saying?
So we're live right now. Yurp, it's live right now on.
Hey, I wanted to call out one message from Ardell because he's freaking hilarious. The dude's freaking money. So he says, watching soccer is awful. It's like masturbating with a cheese grater. Slightly amusing, but painful. Flopping bastards. The last 10 minutes of a soccer game are unwatchable. I agree with you, dude. 1-to-1 games in any sport freaking bore the shit out of me. They really do. I can't agree with you more on that.
I don't know. It on Stream East, it says it's ended.
No. That's because you're on the prelims, bro. You got to go to the regular.
Well, I'm on Stream East. I'm watching.
Yeah. You got to go to the one that's the Catterall.
Has any of it started?
It should be. I'm trying to. This thing's giving me a weird.
Me too.
Now.
Me too.
Yeah. Hold on.
Soccer's a pussy sport because of the way they are allowed to act like bitches. Ardell makes a reference between soccer and hockey. If you flop in hockey, you actually get a fucking penalty. It's called embellishment. So it's like you're like, motherfucker, that didn't hurt. So go to the fuck penalty box. Get the fuck out of here. And in soccer, they get fucking yellow and red cards just for freaking faking freaking shit. NFL does it too, though. It's the same way. I mean, but a soccer game, the one thing I will give them is they run on the average of 7 miles a game. That's a lot of fucking running. I don't want no part of that shit. And I'm retired military. I can do some running. But damn. Makachev, super fight. Yep. Also, while I'm ranting, any game or sport that ends in a draw or 0-0 is some bullshit. Yeah, I agree. Fuck a tie. That is American. Someone has to lose. That's how we roll. Just another reason why Americans don't give a fuck about soccer and never will. Okay, Ardell, I got you. I mean, it can't end in a draw, but the NFL does. NFL still ends in a draw. Too many overtimes, freaking is what it is, right? Yeah. Like Dixon Sider says, I see Mahomes and Josh Allen flop a lot. Not just them, everybody. Yeah. So it's a thing, and I don't like it, but it is part of the deal, is all I'm trying to say. You know, you can only let a damn game go on so long before you're like, all right, fuck it. You guys are even, you know? Dixon, I get you. I get what you're saying. I get your point. It's like a baseball game. Dude, I played baseball in college, man. I love watching a baseball game. God damn, I cannot watch baseball games. 162 fucking games? Come on, man. That's hard to freaking plan for. Although, August 2nd, I am going to the Braves game. There's a Braves game going to be in Bristol, at Bristol Speedway. They're actually going to freaking put a baseball field out there and actually play a baseball game in a racing atmosphere. It's the only thing it's ever done is that in concerts. Racing in concerts. So that should be pretty cool. My wife set that up for me because I'm a Braves fan. My wife set that up for me for an anniversary present. So we're gonna go check it out. Still got my Chipper Jones jersey. Putting that thing on, no doubt. Yes. It's just you can't just sit down and watch a soccer match on that pitch, bro. It's gonna take freaking your whole damn day, and if it's not a competitive one, it's kind of like, what the fuck are these guys? They're running back and forth across this whole freaking unit, dude. And you're impressed with the amount of cardio these guys got, no question. But god damn, why would you run so far for fucking 1 point? You know, like, yeah, fuck that shit, man. It's only 1 point, even if I do score. You know. So we're moving over to the other channel at this point, or no?
I don't know yet.
I forgot to like your stream, dude. I just did it just now.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Ardell, Greg Maddox. So we were playing.
So yeah, again. Oh, sorry. It did start, Navman, and we're almost finished with round one with the next Anthony Joshua guy that I was telling you about, Leo Atang.
Oh shit! Let me see if I can just refresh.
Oh, never mind. They stopped it. So he won by knockout.
Who did?
His name is Leo Atang, Atang.
Oh yeah,
He's the next Anthony Joshua.
I would have actually won that bet.
Yeah, that would have been a good bet, though.
Damn, that sucks. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, they just killed it. So I know we're not talking about baseball or anything, but what Ardell said, Greg Maddox is the best pitcher I've ever seen in person. I actually was a sophomore in high school when he was a senior, and I was going to have an opportunity to freaking be able to hit off the dude. He wasn't anything special in high school, really. I mean, to be honest with you, he was good. Don't get me wrong, but he didn't have any velocity in high school. Velocity was everything, right? So I was looking forward to hitting against the best pitcher in the region, and freaking coach sat me because I slid into second the game before and freaking twisted my ankle, and he did not want me to aggravate that shit being a third baseman. And that game didn't matter to us. We were going into the sectional tournament anyway. So he wanted to rest everybody against him. So we won, even with half the starters not playing, because Jennings County just wasn't that good as they had been that year. So, but yeah, I had a chance to bat against him. Never had the opportunity. It sucks still to this day because I know him personally. I mean, he's actually family to family friends of ours. So actually knew that dude. But yeah, he had a lot of freaking swerve on his freaking baseball. Yeah, he could move that thing. He could put it wherever he wanted. He was all about location. He could locate the ball anywhere. He could put it outside, inside. I mean, hardly ever even hit a batter ever, unless it was on purpose. Back in those days, his brother Mike Maddox, probably about 3 or 4 years older, Mike was a power pitcher. Played for the Cubs. Yeah, he can. Greg Maddox can locate a ball where he says, "I want to put it here." That's where he puts it. That's why all his catchers loved him. There was never a surprise from Greg Maddox. There was never a surprise. So, I never got a chance to hit off him that one game. I didn't even. I felt great. He just like, no. We're setting everybody if we can got even any nicks at all because we're getting ready to go into the tournament. And that year we made it to semi-state, but we got beat in the final semi-state game before going to state. So, yeah, Randy Johnson was power pitcher. That's a left-handed Nolan Ryan at 6'7". That dude, by the time he releases the ball is leaving his hand at about 53 feet, which just that, and he throws damn near 100. I mean, that's hard to pick a ball up, man. And then he pulls a string on one, throws a change up, and you're fucking swinging 3 times before the ball even shows up. So, yeah, it is. I couldn't imagine. I'm pretty sure I'd have got a piece of a couple of them, but man, it's so hard to pick the ball up out of a lefty's hand to begin with. You know, when you're a right-handed hitter primarily, and of course I'm going to be batting right-handed with a left-handed pitcher pretty much all the time. I had better average left-handed, but I had more power right-handed. Left eye dominant, right-handed hitter. It allowed me to pick the ball up just a split second faster. So I was actually a pretty damn good hitter. I led our JUCO division in hitting in college. So batting average, anyway. I was about 420, something like that, 420, 425. My second year, which in a JUCO would be your senior year. So. Yeah, we had a couple pitchers. We had one from Danville, Illinois that threw over 100. Could throw 100. We had another guy out of Wabash that could throw near 100. But they were both right-handers. So I batted left on them, and I just freaking slap it to left field with those dudes. I just put the bat out there and just let it do its thing. So. Yeah, that's pretty much all that. Let's see. I think I got this coming up now. If I can get out of these ads. Oh, I got the live on right now. Oh, oh no. Let's see. How many? Well, I got your answer, Ardell. 11. 11 games have ended in a tie. 11 games have ended in a tie in the last 20 years. Wow. Did you know that, Yurp?
What?
Ardell asked, how many NFL games have ended in tie in the last 20 years? Not many, and never in the playoffs. Yeah, they can't. The playoffs, I think it changes in the playoffs. They have to play it out. They don't have a choice. But that game can go freaking 15 hours, whatever. But there's only been 11 in 20 years, Europe. Did you know that?
Nah, I ain't know. That's crazy.
11 ties in 20 years. I thought there were maybe more than that, actually. But we had 2 or 3 of them last year, though. We actually had, didn't we have one the year before? Oh,
the Raiders, or
didn't we have one the year? Didn't we have one in 2023 or something like that? We had a tie with somebody.
You talking about the Raiders or just?
Yeah, the Raiders. Didn't the Raiders have one like 2023 or 2022? Didn't we have one of those?
Did we?
I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Let's see. Oh, last time the Raiders tied in the NFL game was a preseason game against the Niners, which didn't matter, in 2024 on my wife's birthday last year. No shit. But the last regular season tie was October 22nd on my daughter's birthday, 1973. Although I was 2, so obviously she wasn't around. So the last tie we had was 1973.
Yeah, I knew. I kind of figured it'd be a while because we don't really tie like that.
That's where my mind was at. I felt like we had one recently, but it was a preseason game. It was against the Niners, 24-24.
Right.
Ardell, I would agree with what you say there. He says number 1 for him is football, number 2 is hockey, 3 is baseball, 4 is basketball. I would take the hockey. For me, I'm just starting to actually keep my eyes open on hockey a little bit more because of blue. Right now, as it stands, I would move hockey to probably number 3 on my list. And I'd put UFC my number 2. And boxing would be in my top 5 now at this point because it's actually growing again. Basketball is something that I watch on the side when playoffs start coming. I start trying to figure out what's going on. Wait, what? No. The Raiders' last regular season tie was October 22nd, 1973. Yeah, I'm looking at several different things, G-Fam. Say 1973. Huh. Okay. Well, so it was, I knew we had one somewhere. I wasn't sure where. I'm I'm just clicking around looking for an answer to it. 16-16 against the Chargers. I don't think that was ended in a tie, though. I thought that one was a. I thought somebody kicked a field goal at the end of that thing. But anyway, maybe. I don't think so. G-Fam, I don't think so, bro. Not everywhere I'm looking. I've looked on 10 different places, and the Raiders have only had one regular season tie since 1973. That's what I keep coming up with. Even Wikipedia. Okay, here we go. So in 1920, there were 17 ties. Apparently, there were different rules back then. Let's see. 1973, there were 7. So in the 70s, it looks like there were a lot of freaking ties. 9 and 70, 8 and 71, 5 and 72, and 1973, there were 7. So let's see. Okay, so 2012 to 2016, the NFL instituted a sudden death overtime system to prevent a field goal from the team that won to kick off ending the game. During these seasons, total of 83 regular season games went to overtime, which was 5. 6% of which ended in a tie. So 2017 to 2024, I don't see the Raiders on here. And that's ESPN. Wikipedia via ESPN stats. Somebody had a tie last year that actually took them out of the freaking playoffs. Can't remember who it was. Can't remember who it was. There was a tie last year in the regular season, and somebody ended up out of the playoffs because of the tie. Can't remember who it was. Or they both made it. I can't remember. Was it the Bucks? Was one of them, and whoever they beat in that tie didn't get in the playoffs because of it. I can't remember who it was.
Mm-hmm.
See. Nope. Apparently not. Nope. Last one was 2022 Commanders, Giants, 20-20. New York kicker Graham Gano missed a 58-yarder when time expired.
Damn.
So, yeah. Graham Gano was a Panthers kicker. And, of course, my wife's a Panthers fan, right? And it was like one of those where I'm like, and no. No.
Well, I got the fight all right here.
I don't know if Angelo's like creating a studio over there or building something. I don't know what he's doing.
Set to
I
make
don't
this
know.
ring walk. Please welcome radio Lewis Holford.
Yeah, I got it on over here though.
Yeah, I got it live over here. I don't know if he's Turf's got his show ready or not. Just waiting for Angelo to tell us what to do here. Hey, it's getting hot. I'm going to turn this fan on. You let me know if it makes if it's making noise. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Lewis Holford walks in for the 9th time. 6 victories to his name. As the guys are setting a winning record.
We're in the building, y'all. Zone.
Sound okay? You hear that in the background or no?
No.
Okay, cool. I need to turn up my sound. Let me know if you hear any echo. All good? Sweet.
What's up with this? Why I keep doing this?
All right, next fight's coming up right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching it.
Yeah, he said that'd be a Canelo killer, bro.
Oh,
What he just put up there? Said Canelo's king of the hill right now. Imagine if he lost him. Oh,
right.
it took him right off the hill, and then it probably dropped him down to like 8. He'd have to work his way all the way back up.
Really fight. Excellent amateur. Really precocious professional. And he wants to box all the time, and we love that. Momentum, Barry. It's brilliant to see.
And it's a bit young and inexperienced, you started off and you started off with left, right, center, but you started quickly. And this is the point with the pop that he has, and the aggression, and I said, control the aggression that he has, makes him a real problem. But this level, and certainly, as he moves up the level, it will continue to be.
Yeah.
Oh my love. We came in bumping Luther, bro.
Oh, he's in there fucking doing this shit to the camera. You see that shit, Yurp? He gave the freaking camera one of them.
Yeah.
This motherfucker ready to freaking beat somebody's ass.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the cruiserweight division. Introducing first, fighting on the red corner, wearing the Southern Black Trucks. He's got 14 stone, 8 pounds, bang on. Professional record, 6 victories against 2 defeats. Fighting out of London, please welcome the mighty Lewis Holford. And his opponent across the ring fighting.
I gotta fix this. This is getting on my nerves.
So let me tell you something right now, Jers. This Pat Brown guy, pay really close attention. He's going to be the next big Ricky Hatton sensation for Manchester. Like how popular Ricky Hatton was, bro. This kid is already that popular or getting to that popularity. Everybody fucking loves this guy. He's in the cruiserweight division. But this is the guy. This is Pat Brown. He's not getting upset. Watch. He got real power, bro.
Oh, this is a fucking knockout all day. It's going to be early.
Should be. I was explaining to Yurp that this Pat Brown kid at cruiserweight is like Manchester's next Ricky Hatton. He's so popular, and he grew his popularity through the amateurs. But now that he's a pro, I believe this is his fourth fight. Well, was on TV also. His second fight.
So they really believe in the man that quality like that, understand one of the London of this book quality. Well, also this quick movie cricket is appropriate though. So people are turning pro, they not think that that they were tying up anomaly now. They're turning pro in their mid-20s and they've had longer amateur careers at a higher level. So they have us and move quicker without taking extra risk.
With a right hand from Brown, proving elusive light on his feet.
Damn.
Told you.
That motherfucker running for his life, Benny. God damn. Whooping his ass.
This is over. Watch. He got real power, man. This guy can really bang. Everybody loves this guy. They're bringing him up correct. I won't be surprised if he's like 10-0 before the year's over, though, because they keep putting him up. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Pat Brown. Remember the name. Remember the name.
Boom. 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 Yeah. Damn.
And I was trying to explain to Yurp that in the cruiserweight division, the very best fighter is Jai Apataya. You have to know who Jai Apataya is, and everything comes down from Jai Apataya.
Yeah, I know.
But kids like these guys, Pat Brown, these are the guys that are coming up. And remember that cruiserweight, like Aloys Jr., the cruiserweight division is the division that eventually turns him into a heavyweight, because cruiserweight is 200 pounds. So a lot of the young cruiserweights will eventually become your heavyweights. That's what happened to Usyk. That's what happened to Evander Holyfield. It's just, that's why it's important to pay attention to cruiserweight. So someone like Nabman understands this because he was watching cruiserweight back in the day. But you got to pay attention to cruiserweight to know you have to know who the cruiserweights are so that you know who the next heavyweights will be. Because that's what happened.
I'd be damn careful not to be a light heavyweight. I'd be damn careful. I was right there on the edge. In the Golden Gloves, I was like, I fucking don't need to eat today. Give me some fluids. You know what I'm saying? Because back then, Angelo wasn't light heavyweight 215 back in the day, like in the 80s, 90s. 215.
No. Light heavyweight has always been throughout history. It's always been 175. But there was a period where cruiserweight only got started later. It wasn't in there was no cruiserweight division in the 70s or even in the early 80s, because it had to. I'm trying to think exactly when cruiserweight started, but the reason why they wanted cruiserweight was because they didn't want like how Bob Foster, would come up then to fight a heavyweight. Like they wanted like an in between. Like, hey man, it's not really fair.
I was that guy. 200 on the money. That was
Right.
me.
Right.
Last thing I wanted to be was a light heavyweight, and with all these fast motherfuckers. That's the last thing I
Right.
want. I'm like, look, I'm gonna freaking drink as much water as I can in this way because I'd rather be a freaking heavyweight than a light heavyweight. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, is that light heavyweight is they bang hard, pause, and and they're super fast. So it's kind of like the combination of like the speed of a middleweight and then the power. Some of them have the power of a heavyweight.
I counted on banging. I was a banger, so I was like, I didn't have to speak. I could get jabbed to death. I knew I could. And somebody that had a hard jab would beat me every time. I mean,
Hey, check this out. GFam says that USA. Oh wow, for FIFA, USA made it against Mexico. Wow, that's a shocker.
It's been getting better.
The last couple World Cups, I ain't gonna lie.
That shit's
wow.
I mean, even a couple American dudes freaking owns a freaking soccer team. You know what I mean? Or owners. JJ Watt got freaking, what is it? Something Nottingham or something like that. And then,
Right.
And then I think fucking old boy from Van Wilder fucking owns one too.
Right. Hey, Ardell. Hey, Yurp. Ardell put up that question: is Mayweather the best defensive fighter to ever fight? You want to put that one up?
Yeah.
Wow.
Where at?
Yeah, right there, right before. Yeah, there you go. So what do you think, Yurp? Is Mayweather the best defensive fighter to ever fight?
Question. Yes, he is.
That is a good question.
Yes, he is.
All right. In Yurp's generation, he says yes, he is. How about Navman's generation?
George Foreman. George Foreman was a hell of a defensive fighter. He had a lot of offense, but the way he freaking defended himself,
has he been knocked down?
Themselves out on. And
has he been knocked down?
Yeah, and then he'd get a knockout. Yeah.
Mayweather has never been knocked down.
George Foreman defended himself very well. He would catch punches. He would call punches. And then this right here, I mean, what do you hit? I mean, you hit him in the gut, you're hitting a tank, you're hitting a brick wall. You know what I mean? It's Tony was another one that was a great defensive fighter. But Floyd Mayweather probably is, in my opinion, overall, probably one of the best defensive fighters ever. Nobody's probably ever had people miss more punches than Mayweather, other than Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali made people freaking use up their freaking energy on him, and he would slip punches like crazy. Sugar Ray Leonard was another one. He slipped a lot of punches.
Yeah.
It's really hard, that question right there. Is Mayweather the best defensive fighter to ever fight? I say no, because there was a lot of them that were really good defensive fighters long ago. So I would say no, but damn, if you can't put him in the top 5, then you don't know boxing. I'm just saying. That's what made his fights seem boring, because he just made people look stupid, when they were trying to hit it.
Nah, he also had a lot of exciting fights, though. The Diego Corrales fight was an exciting fight. The De La Hoya fight was really exciting.
I said seem. Make it seem boring. He was so good defensively that nobody could get a hand on him.
Right.
It may seem boring, but if you know the game, the fight game, you're like, this dude's fucking. Nobody can hit him. Nobody
Right.
ever hit him. Floyd Mayweather only got hit hard a few times in any fights that I saw. It was a pure anomaly when he got hit hard.
It's an absolute savage. One of the most exciting fighters in the world now.
So, Ardell, my answer to it would be that, again, like you guys are saying, Pernell Whitaker, obviously, right? When we're talking defensive fighters, James Toney, obviously, right? Floyd Mayweather was, I mean, again, undefeated. I watched it myself. Like, I saw the trainings for when he fought Guerrero, Cotto, Canelo. Like, I mean, he's the real deal too. But if you want to go historical, Willie Pep's the only guy I know that won a round without ever throwing a punch, man.
Yeah.
And they have a movie out right now called The Featherweight, and it's about Willie Pep. It's a really good movie if you guys want to watch it on Amazon. Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good like little biopic that they talk about on the struggles of that time too, right? But yeah, man, I mean, it's hard to like again because we didn't get to watch him live, but Willie Pep's still the only guy I know that won an entire round without ever throwing a punch. So it's hard to say. He's not the best defensive. He also fought a lot more fights than all the guys I mentioned. He fought a lot more fights than Tony. He fought a lot more fights than Pernell. He fought a lot more fights than Mayweather. So, you know, Willie Pep, man. Willie Pep.
Well, I mean, and you got to kind of throw Chavez in there, actually. He did a great job of people not hitting him. He just did a great job when they missed freaking capitalizing on it. You know what I mean? So, Chavez, he got in some wars, but he didn't want to be in those wars. He wanted to counter you. Chavez is probably one of the best counter punchers I've ever seen.
Want to take it slow, you want to enjoy the process, but there are so many big domestic clashes out there. I suppose that just cheers you up that little bit more and gets you excited moving forward as you progress now.
Yeah, it definitely does. But remember, when I was an amateur, when COVID came, everyone was turning over pro, and everyone was saying to me, turn over pro, it's time, because
to me, it'd be Chavez. To me, Ardell would be Chavez, greatest Mexican-born fighter ever. Chavez. Either Chavez or Roberto Duran. I think Roberto Duran was Mexican, wasn't he? I'm sure, not Puerto Rican.
Can I just say something as well? Everyone thinks I'm this barbarian and all that. This is for the amateur kids and the boxing folks.
But Roberto Duran, you got to remember who he was up against. It's a lot like Angelo was talking about. You had freaking Sugar Ray Leonard, you had Marvin Hagler, you had all these fucking guys in that division, man, that he had to face. I mean, shit. Chavez didn't necessarily really have over and over again fights with these freaking Hall of Famers, man.
Thank you very much.
But 81 and 1, you can't deny that with Chavez.
Right. And again, like I go further back, like because during that time, like I said, man, Salvador Sanchez was really great, but there's so many great Mexican, like that's why Mexico really is. It's a national sport for them. Every time I would go there for anything, it's like a regular thing. They teach it in their PE. Everybody, I mean, every family knows how to box. It's just like a regular thing. It's like soccer.
Well, and I think so. G-Fam said that Duran was Panamanian. I didn't know he was like he was
he was
other than Mexico.
No, he was from Panama. Like Alexis Arguello was from the Chichenitas. God, help me out, G-Fam. What's the country that Alexis Arguello was in? Because he was dealing with the Chichenitas. But in terms of Mexican fighters, it was Salvador Sanchez, like Lil Red Lopez, Chavez,
like
Fernando Vargas.
One of them, Vargas grew up in Cancun, I think.
IBF.
Oh, Nicaragua. Thank you. Yes, Alexis Arguello was from Nicaragua. Thank you, G fam.
Shots in the ring with the Pop Funkos, and down below we've got some gloves that I had.
Like,
my cousin passed.
who was that?
My favorite photos of him down.
The Samoan, the American Samoan.
David Tua. David Tua is who you're talking about. Yeah. David Tua was probably during that period of time was the best heavyweight power punching we saw that never won a world title.
Yeah.
And it's because of Lennox Lewis. It's because of Lennox Lewis. But it doesn't diminish the fact that he was great. I mean, he knocked the hell out of Hasim Rahman. Still one of the greatest heavyweight fights to ever watch, Yurp. I'm going to have to send it to you if you never saw it, bro. Is Ike Abiyabuchi, who's in jail for triple murder, against David Tua. That heavyweight fight was one of the greatest heavyweight fights you'll ever see, man. It's crazy.
Hey, Angelo, you're taking a nap over there.
So I'm sending highlights.
You're taking a nap?
Yeah, that's enough to know.
Yeah. That weed kicked in now, man.
I'm drilling the things that I'm good at.
He's out, bro. Straight up out. Sure. Watch this. Watch this right here.
On the rim sheet.
Nothing. All right. I'm gonna put my mic on mute now, man. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna check on turf. I'll be right back.
When he first came to us, he didn't even look. As the years have gone on, he's just got better and better. He's made a better athlete overall. No, sorry.
My buttons right now.
Restart. Let's go with that. You guys get it.
Apparently, Yurp had a long night last night, so he's chilling, taking a nap. Even all the bugs ain't waking him up. Angelo, this is going to be very loud.
The next one? Yeah.
This is going to be very loud.
Then in August, Jack Rafferty takes on Mark Chamberlain for the British Commonwealth Super Lightweight title. 3 more fights to add.
I just turned the music all the way up, so as loud as I possibly could send it.
Now talking a big fight.
Feel free to chill.
It was announced pretty recently. A big rematch is in the air. Charlie Parsons is standing by ringside with one half of that main event.
Thank you, Jamie. Yes, I am indeed. Conor Ben joins
Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, happy America's birthday, man, to all y'all.
recently.
I know it was yesterday, but now it's
I'm excited to watch the fight for sure. That was way more experience.
our little speed throw the freaking.
A little bit about yourself. We saw you in
Hey, Nab man. I know Yurp's asleep on the Instagram. I'm gonna send you the studio link for me and Turf so you can switch over. Okay.
That sounds good.
He's announced. Yeah, I know you keep yourself fit. You've been on about 1 million holidays, but ready to crack back down.
I wanted the earliest stage. You know, I'm always ready. I want to correct my wrongs. You know, it was experience gained and lessons learned. And you know, Hammer, that team, you know, everything to get to know you. It was one hell of a fight. I know that September 20th will be even better.
The feedback from the fans has been absolutely incredible. I remember seeing you on the week after. What's your biggest takeaway from everything from the fight? So,
Yo. Shit. Hold on. All right. Did he get kicked up? Yo.
I'm blessed to be able to entertain the public.
I'm here switching over. Angelo's switching over to turf.
You guys switch over there? All right.
I just put the link. I just put the link down in the chat.
All right.
Obviously, no love
I'm
lost.
there. Everybody switch over to turf and Angelo.
I'm going to go there and try and take his out.
I'll stream it as well. There, that way you guys will know where to go. Make sure you tap in on everyone.
The sooner the better, but it was always going to be one of those days. Why did we do it differently this time round?
All right, y'all.